Alright, so without further ado, since we're not doing anything with the red Dodge today, I plan to work on that thing tomorrow, hopefully. I want to try to get it together because we have another truck we need to pull up and put right there in that spot. But I cannot do such until that thing's done. Obviously we know that's done. And that one's for sale. That one's mine. She's not going anywhere. But as we remember, it's about where we left off. So all we got left to do, pull upright turbos, manifolds, fuel lines, rails, injectors, intake / valve cover, rocker assemblies, pull the glow plugs out, head bolts, heads, and then we're done. And at that point we will be waiting on parts. Of course, as long as the block checks out good, I believe it will. I've got no reason to particularly say yeah, she's screwed, but we will. I think the goal really is to have the heads off today, and if we can achieve that, I'd say we'll be doing pretty damn good. So realistically, maybe 4 hours of work, maybe. It's just what I estimate how much we got to pull apart. I've done enough to know. I've done enough where it's pretty much kind of like almost second nature, almost. Did quite a bit of these. I mean, like I said, the earlier trucks are known to have casting issues, so this is nothing out of the ordinary. This is still an earlier motor. Of course, they converted it to a single compressor wheel, right? But other than that, it's still an early motor regardless. So let's set y'all up, and we'll get back to tearing this thing apart. Oh, the fun! I'm having trouble finding my motivation today. It's Wednesday currently. The weather is freaking astounding right now. I love it. Like these nice little like Texas, almost call them pre-winter set. The skies are like really blue. Birds are singing. It's cold in the morning and the sun comes out. It gets, you know, we go from like 40 degrees to 70 degrees. I freaking love it. Or really 60. I guess it's mid 60s. Awesome weather. But let's crack into this thing. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, and the sooner it's apart, the less I gotta do. So that's my motivation right there. Let's get after it. Alright, so you can see we got this side intake off. If anyone who doesn't know, this is what it looks like. There's 4 rockers, 1 per valve. There's 2 intake rockers, 2 exhaust rockers. This is the oiling rail. They did this in sight of the 6.4 Power Strokes, having valve or rocker lubrication issues because there's not enough oil that makes it up top to lubricate the rocker assemblies correctly, which causes premature failure. So they fixed that with the 6.7s. They just added the whole rail in to spray oil on them so they just constantly stay soaked. Not a bad idea, honestly. It works good. There's your intake ports right there on the sides. See how nice and wet they are from oil. Glow plugs, of course. You can tell there we had an exhaust leak on that back port on the driver's side head. And then all that's got soot all over it, and of course blowing up the back port. And even if you look on the manifold, blowing it right there. So other than that, pretty much where we're at. So we're going to finish. We're going to pull this valve cover off, and then we'll pull the rocker assemblies off, and after that just bust some head bolts and we can pull the whole head. Not too bad. Really the biggest pain in the ass for me is the damn Cobra heads. I hate fighting them. And it's not so much that they're a pain in the ass, it's because there's the bolt right there. It's barely hanging in there. That thing you got to get in order to actually get the head itself off. So typically you could separate the pipe right there at that joint, but this one did not want to separate at all. It's just, you know, it's been on there since 2011, so I mean, hell, that's what 13, 14 years now. So I said whatever. So we're gonna have to go from underneath, bust that bolt loose, get it all the way loose by hand, then rotate the head back. That way I can get to the bottom V-band off of the driver's side of that pipe. That's pretty much it, though. Doesn't look like anything too overly complicated. There is a lot of little stuff, I mean, for sure, but no big deal. So as far as pulling these, it's 3 bolts per rocker or pedestal. So bang 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 bang, and I think there's only, like I said, so some of these, so this one has a mount for every single one. I think the later ones there's only like 2. Which is, I mean, it's whatever, it doesn't really matter, but just kind of keep it in mind. But there's a little O-ring on this rod here, so you just take these 4 10mm bolts off, rod pops out, then get to the Torx head, bust them all loose, and pull them out. And be careful. There's like a lifter inside a lifter with these. So there's a little tiny lifter that sits inside the lifter body for each push rod, and when you pull these push rods out, make sure if it does come out that you do not lose it. You can buy extras, of course. You can buy them at Ford dealers all day long, but just keep that in mind. Because I've had them where they'll stick, and I get them out here and they drop and they fall into the crevice underneath the motor, and it's just, you know, gone forever. Like I said, you can buy replacements. I think I try to keep at least a couple of them on hand for that reason, but just beware if you do this. Again, it is a lot for the average Joe, but if you're someone who knows their tools, you can probably get away with it. Alright, let's tear this thing apart. Ready to be done for the day. Alright, so everything's apart. There's a valve train, valve covers, turbo, heads. Take a look at this here. Yeah. This is the passenger head. Crack, crack, crack. There's one there. Crack there in the valve there. One there. That's all I see on the valves. The passenger head. Come to the driver head. Cracked. Cracked. Crack. I don't know how good the camera will show that, but pretty obvious cracks in the valves. Another good one right there. Yeah, she's been hurt a while. And what scares me is, I don't know if y'all can see the cylinder wall real well, but see how it's brown? I call it scorching. So that will not come off. That's from steam and coolant burning, or steam and water. It will not come off. Haven't even looked at the driver's side cylinder walls yet, honestly. I think this one was blown worse than the passenger. Nope, it was not. These cylinders look pretty good. Real good hatching. Not bad. Gasket had a little bit of blow going on there. You see a little bit of the soot that made it past the fire rings. Not bad though. But this passenger side, dude, come on. And I gotta rotate it to look at those two cylinders, but I can tell you right now, just from looking at these two, it's less than to be desired, to say the least. So I call them and let them know. I mean, I doubt, of course, the only way to correct this would be to overhaul, or I mean, pull a one piston rod out and hone it, but I wouldn't really call that fixing it. That's more of a band-aid and a zip tie, and I'm not a big fan of band-aids and zip ties. But yeah, that's where that's at. So we're not going to reuse the heads. We got new heads coming. I'm not a big fan of reusing aluminum heads unless it's, you know, directed by a customer request, just because aluminum, it's weak. It's a good material, and I mean I can go on for an hour with the difference between aluminum and cast iron and what's superior and what's weaker. But I ain't gonna do that today. I ain't got it in me. I don't care enough today to really do it. So, but yeah, these two cylinders got some bad scorching, and I can only assume with the back two got some scorching too. The driver's side looks fine. I mean, the motor's got life. That's not really gonna kill it per se. It's just not ideal. But again, then we kind of go into a different dynamic of money here, because we'll go from, I think this will be right about a $7,000 job total invoice ticket when it's said and done. That's everything. Parts, labor. Parts are pretty expensive. To almost a $15,000 job to do an overhaul. So, yeah. I don't blame them. I probably wouldn't want to, you know. Nobody likes giving those. I don't like calling people and giving them those phone calls, and I know I've been on the receiving end of those, and I don't like receiving phone calls like that neither. But that's where we're at. So I'm just going to start putting everything up, getting everything cleaned up, put the hardware up for this truck, get everything wrapped up here, that way it's concealed and out of the elements, and that's where we're at. So that'll definitely be the end of this episode if I don't end it earlier. That's all the work I'll be doing today. Tomorrow, try to get that thing together. Will we get it all the way together? Probably not. We're going to try. Whatever. How bad can it be, right? Just Toyota. Alright. Till the next one.